Alright guys, so Crown Jewel ended just a couple of minutes ago. I am here to talk about everything that happened on the show. My name is Andy, I'm a wrestling fan from Ghana, West Africa. If you do like the content on this channel, please do subscribe, hit that like button on this video, and hit the notification bell so that you're notified whenever I post a new video. Let's get into it. So Crown Jewel started with a 6-man tag team match between Solo Sikoa's Bloodline versus Roman Reigns, Jimmy and Jey Uso, the Usos. Now, they started setting up the slight division in the OG Bloodline very early with the entrance of Jey Uso separate from Roman and Jimmy's entrance because they both entered together. Also, whilst Jey was eating before he got to the ring, Roman seemed a little uncomfortable. He had this scowl on his face, not a very obvious one, but it was right there, even though he kind of clapped for Jey, but you know, that thing was there. This division was further evident when you went to the match. So there was a moment where I believe Jey should have tagged in Roman and he decided not to and tagged Jimmy instead. This caused a bit of a rift and the match progressed. There was more unity on Solo's side of the Bloodline. Eventually there was a situation where Jimmy was taken out and Jey had no choice but to tag in Roman, but they didn't do the obvious thing of, should I tag this guy? And I hate that I have to tag this in. They didn't do that. Instead, it was a straight hot tag. Roman got in the match. Eventually, he was knocked down flat, and shockingly, Solo Sikoa pinned Roman Reigns. So that is the second pinfall loss Roman Reigns has suffered this year alone. The third one in the last 2 years. It's what happened after the match that we need to get into. So Roman is down and out. He's taking like 2 spikes from Solo. He starts getting mauled by the Bloodline. Jimmy and Jey try to get into the fray. They get laid out. And then Sami Zayn comes out, and this is very interesting because Roman was on the outside, Jey was in the corner with the chair on his head, similar to what happened to him on Monday, which he counted. But Sami got in the ring, and Solo was trying to get Sami to side with them and attack the OG Bloodline. And all it took for Sami to change his mind was to look at Jey. And for whatever reason, this reminded me of the 2023 Royal Rumble where the OG Bloodline turned on Sami. It was only Jey that walked away from the situation. It was only Jey that sided with Sami for that. So it seemed to be a very good callback. So Sami was like, okay, he seemingly was going to hug Solo and then gave him an exploder suplex, which got him attacked as well. But then you had a situation where the OG Bloodline members, including Roman Reigns, fought off this new version of the Bloodline and left Solo Sikoa standing in the middle of the ring. And just when it looked like Solo was going to get his you-know-what handed to him, there was a bit of miscommunication. So Sami Zayn ended up hitting Roman Reigns, who was in a diagonal position from him, which allowed Solo Sikoa to escape. Obviously, this was a little bit of a problem. And it took Jey Uso to step in because Jimmy was getting agitated. Roman had no idea where he was, and Jey had to play peacemaker. Sami left the ring. So I think we are starting to see why this story has seemingly been rushed. Things have moved fast, but I think we're now starting to see exactly why. And it's exactly what I was talking about in one of my videos recently, where I said the recruitment of Sami Zayn was going to be an issue, and they're doing it this way. It's pretty good. Next, we had the Fatal 4-Way for the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships. Now, listen, this match was incredible. I am so happy that all 4 women gave it their all, and I'm just looking forward to seeing what they do next. Now, the Women's Tag Team Championships haven't looked this strong ever in their 5-year history on the WWE main roster. They just haven't looked this good. You had Meta 4, the Meta Girls, Jakara Jackson and Lash Legend just doing work. I should mention this, I don't know if there's real beef between Lash Legend and Jade Cargill because they were giving each other some very stiff shots. It did not make any sense to me. I really wondered, but nonetheless, it made for good television. It didn't go off the rails, so that was fine, but the shots were pretty stiff, I should say that. There was also one point where I got a little confused because I could not keep track of who was a legal man or woman, I should say. Even the ref could not tell who was legal. As usual, Chelsea Green, being her comedic self, seemingly was going for a moonsault and then came down and opted to do a splash. Then Jakara Jackson and Lash Legend teamed up for another aerial move. Io Sky did something similar, but it was the finish that was really good. So you had Jade Cargill get in the mix, and she and Bianca delivered a doomsday device to Piper Niven, who had just splashed their own partner. So they did that to retain the titles, and I want to see what they go next. Now, mind you, Corey Grace has started sowing seeds of this, I don't know the word to use. The English is not coming. I have to reset for a second. Yeah, I have the word. It's dissension. So Corey Graves started sowing some seeds of dissension between Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair on commentary, saying that Jade seemingly was more about Instagram photos these days, which, okay, Corey, I mean, Corey's a bit of a prophet, so I'm going to look at this a little more closely, but we'll see what happens. Ultimately, what I think is going to happen is if any one of these two men turns on each other, what happened in this match and with the demeanor that I saw from Jade Cargill, I think she's going to be the one to turn heel. I would have always thought it was Bianca Belair because Bianca hasn't been a heel in quite a while. It looks like it's going to be Jade. So let's just keep an eye on that. Then we had the Women's Crown Jewel Championship match between Nia Jax and Liv Morgan. This match was shorter than I expected, but it did everything it needed to do, so I was okay. You had Tiffany Stratton come out there at one point in the match, and she had a gold suit on, so I was like, okay, this has to be the moment, because if you know the law with wrestlers and their gear, you know, there's certain moments where they wear certain attires to signify that they are going to win the championship. Ric Flair used to do this a lot, but nonetheless, there was some dissension between herself and Nia Jax, and this made her not cash in. Tiffany did consider it again, went back to the ring, but then Raquel Rodriguez stopped her because, mind you, it's more than just for one title. It's also for this prestigious Crown Jewel Championship. So there was all that, and eventually there was a situation where Raquel cornered Tiffany and I believe Dominic, but then this led to Nia getting distracted. Liv Morgan was able to hit her finish and pick up the Crown Jewel Championship. She's the first champion, and she seemed very emotional about it. I will say though, and I will talk about it towards the end with the Cody Gunther match, I may not be exactly opposed to the idea of the Crown Jewel Championship because it's kind of like a Super Bowl type situation. You know, we don't see the Vince Lombardi trophy, and it's the same for the NBA. We don't see the Larry O'Brien trophy until the finals, and then every champion has their ring. So it's I think it's a workaround. It kind of makes some sense. It doesn't take away from the fact that I am not a fan of the belt design. I should say that. I figured out what I don't like about the belt. It's the fact that the center plate's a little too narrow. That's about it. Aside that, great match. Liv Morgan is your first Women's Crown Jewel champion. Next, we had Bronson Reed taking on Seth freaking Rollins. And I said this, all I wanted was multiple tsunamis, and I almost got multiple tsunamis. Instead, I got multiple stomps. Eventually, Seth Rollins won this match. Now, I should mention that both men brawled on the entrance ramp before the start of the match, and then this continued to the ring keepers area, and then they got into the ring. Eventually, the match started. Seth winning didn't really... I have some reservations about it because I don't know what's going to happen with Bronson Reed now. I do think Bronson Reed should have won this match. I think it would have lengthened the feud. But now that you've made Seth win, what do you do with Bronson now? Do you let him come again? Now, that may very well happen because if you look at the finish of the match, and I think this was very well done, a bit of an accident happened, but I think it further legitimized Bronson Reed. So here's what happened. Basically, Bronson's inexperience on the main level came into play. He tried to go for steel steps to attack Seth Rollins, and instead he got tripped up and he ended up hitting his head into the stairs, which led to a cut just above his eye. This will lead to Seth hitting a stomp and then a super stomp onto Reed to get the 1, 2, 3. But after that, Bronson said he still wanted more. So that, I think, is a bit of a redeeming quality. It's akin to Stone Cold and Bret Hart's match at WrestleMania 13 back in '97. I saw a bit of a parallel with that. I just hope they do right by Bronson Reed. That man is a future world champion. We need to protect him at all costs. We need to continue to keep him in the limelight. This was a great showing by him. I still don't like that he lost this match, but we'll take it for what it is. And then we had what we thought was going to be the match between Kevin Owens and Randy Orton. This turned out to be one of the best moments of the night because guess what? The match didn't happen. The GMs didn't convert this into a no disqualification match like we saw at Backlash France earlier in the year. This was all out chaos from the moment Randy Orton did his pose. Kevin Owens came out with a steel chair and attacked him after he had made his entrance, mind you. Kevin Owens entered first. Jamie Noble got hit by Kevin Owens. Adam Pearce got an RKO. One other referee, the referee who was supposed to officiate the match, Eddie Orengo, Damian Priest's best friend, who I remember from the WWE 24 documentary. Side note. But yeah, he also got stunned by Kevin Owens, and it was just carnage overall. This only ended because Randy Orton was put through a table as a result of Kevin Owens putting an elbow into him. They worked their way into the crowd, and then that happened. It was quite cool, but then the segment ended, and I was like, boy, I wonder what's going to happen next. It didn't get as uncomfortable as I thought it would, but I like what I saw, so I'm going to take it for what it was. Then we had the match between LA Knight, Andrade, and Carmelo Hayes for the United States Championship. This match was pretty good. I'm still a little salty that we didn't get Game 7, so I kind of saw this as Game 8 featuring LA Knight. But nonetheless, I should say this. LA Knight, for your safety, and I don't know the first thing about wrestling, so I probably shouldn't even be saying this, but as a concerned fan, I think LA Knight has to retire that move, the one where he does the jump onto the top, because we've seen the move not get pulled off the way it should. The margin of error is just so high with that move, and it's something I've really started to realize. So just for his safety, because he almost busted his lower region down there. I don't say the what I wanted to say, but yeah, you get what I mean. So LA, love you my boy, but yeah, might be time to, you know, put it on the shelf. Also, is this the first time that LA Knight has debuted with this version of the US Championship? Because the strap had LA Knight's logo on it. It almost reminded me of MJF's custom AEW World Championship with the Gucci type strap, if that's what it is. Yes, I like that. LA Knight won the match after hitting a double BFT onto Andrade and Carmelo Hayes. This match was fun. One of the best triple threat matches I have seen in WWE, and we should. As to where this feud goes, we don't know. We will see. I do think that Santos Escobar is next in line, and I do think he should be the one to dethrone LA Knight. I don't see LA Knight's championship reign being too long, but we'll see what happens. Oh guys, so I don't know if you can see this, but this is the post show currently going on. That's the championship ring. Okay. Yeah, anyway, back to what I was talking about. The main event for the Crown Jewel championship match between Cody Rhodes and Gunther. My goodness, this match was very good. This is one of the best champion versus champion matches I have seen in my 17, close to 18 years of watching professional wrestling. Cody and Gunther gave each other everything that they had. They delivered. Funny enough, they also made me care about this Crown Jewel concept and make me see that, okay, maybe if you're going to give quality like this, I'm not opposed to it. I'm really not opposed to it. Like I said, I thought it was a bit of an outlandish thing, but I'm all for it now. I'm cool. I'm cool if we get matches like this. These men, this was a Wrestling 101 classic, the basics, talking about when both men are knocked down, no shenanigans, nothing, and the crowd is chanting. That's when you know you have them, and that was exactly what we got with this match. This match ended only because of Gunther's one mistake. So Cody was going for a Super Cody Kata, and somehow Gunther countered it into a sleeper, but Cody was able to reverse it for the 1-2-3. I have no problem with it. Gunther still looked very strong. Gunther looked unbeatable. The only way Gunther was going to win is if Cody was somehow going to lose because of interference from Kevin Owens and everybody else. I loved how it ended. I like how everything played out. And yes, as we've just seen, both Cody and Liv have gotten their championship rings, so that's cool. This event has turned out to be a lot better than I expected. Listen, also the Saudis and the crowd, man, you guys are making it really hard not to have a WrestleMania in there by the end of this partnership with the WWE in 2028, I believe. So we'll see how that plays out. But anyway, thank you so much for watching this video. Crown Jewel was fun. You should check it out on the WWE Network if you can. Leave a like on this video. Let me know what you thought about the event if you did see it. Check out this video that YouTube is recommending, and I will see you in another one. Till then, take care. I'm going to watch the rest of this thing. I'll see you. Bye.